Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the land of Titan, a land full of rich culture, history, and far from the troubles of Ambyr. Our heroes of this story, or heroes of this story, Beats, Ayla, Irvin, Hedge, and Garber were all imprisoned and taken to the local arena in the city of Az-Zafar to fight for their lives. Upon arrival in the arena, you guys decided you didn't want to do that after being placed in a holding cell to await your match.
We're doing a different fight for our lives.
Yeah, while you waited, Irvin managed to steal the dagger from one of the guards waiting outside, and Hedge threw this dagger at a guard, attracting his attention. The guards burst into the room, and after a bit of deception and violence, you all managed to steal the key for the cell and make your escape. Backup was called, and after outpacing them through some magical means and some very violent means, you all made it to a door that would lead to the armoury. Took out the guards at the door, made it to the armoury facing more guards, using the weapons of the guards you had laid low, and you've made some good progress in breaking into the armoury and clearing out the guards and the enemies in there so that you may grab your gear, which is these large chests that you can see around the room. However, as you make this progress, the sound of many guards hammering their shields like a war cry resounds from behind you, and a call came out for you to all give up and stop the violence. These guards haven't made it to you yet, but you know it's only a matter of time before they do. And given the sounds of guards amassing through the many doorways behind you, you're aware that this might be a significant force of guards that you all need to contend with. And so, why don't we just dive right back in to where we were? Ayla was surrounded by two slightly more armed guards. If they've got that little symbol on it, it means that they are slightly more armoured. If you remember, most of the guards were wearing like ringmail, some sort of like purple and red sort of robes underneath, and sort of like a red sash over that. Scimitars in their hands, a shield in the other. Whereas these guards are wearing a little bit better outfits. It's a bit more of sort of like half plate armor, breastplate armor kind of thing. A wall of fire was made magically by Star Master Garver there, and we will first turn to our lovely ranger, rogue, Hedge. Hedge,
no.
you are in the initiative. What would you like to do?
I think I'm
going to test the dice, see if they roll as bad as last week.
Oh, let's hope so.
For Ayla's sake, let's hope so.
Well, you go before the guards. They sadly made it last in the initiative, so you'll be able to.
Nothing sad about that, Ben.
To escape.
Nothing sad about that.
Nothing sad about that, of course. So, Hedge, what are you doing?
Okay, so I think with a dash, 5, 10, 15, I think you said this was my stuff over here that I could see.
No, that's just a stack of... So obviously this is the armory before people head into the main arena. That's just a stack of bows and arrows.
Oh, that's just general. Okay.
You can make a perception check to try and see if you can see your name on any of these chests.
Yeah.
Ayla has already figured out that one of these two, I believe it was this one, is hers. So you can make a perception check to see.
Okay, I'll do that first. Second, third? There it is.
18, yeah, pretty good one. So you can see that right, sort of you're looking around really quickly. And I'll say actually with an 18, yeah, you can notice just to your right that this one in the very far corner here has both your name and Irvin's on it. You both
knew
each other, you came in together, so your stuff was sort of piled in together.
Okay.
Which box was that?
That was this one right over in the corner here.
Okay. Would you say, could I like run across the boxes instead of, so basically just get to here without triggering
I'd
an attack
say
of opportunity?
maybe an acrobatics check.
Sure, yeah. That's pretty good.
15, yeah, it's pretty decent. So
This turtle been injuring.
So I'd probably say, so your speed is a dash, so obviously it's, and you were here, so 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, it's a bonus action dash to get the distance.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd say with a dash, yeah, won't bother figuring out, easy enough. Yeah, you can leap over this stuff. The guard that's down below almost like wants to swing out at you. He looks like he's running for the door, sort of around this thing of fire. and almost in his run, you've sort of jumped over a lot of these chests and stuff, and he's trying to maybe take a swabby, but obviously he doesn't have the range, nowhere near as a range. So yeah, you're able to jump down, and
I will attempt to open the chest. I'm hoping it's not locked, but it might be.
As you lift up the chest, no, it is not locked.
Sweet. Okay. Well, I'd like to grab my bow and at least maybe just pull out at least like a handful of arrows and stuff and take a shot if I can.
So you've used basically my rules for this were basically going to be that obviously it's a free action to pick anything up, but then that's like one item.
Yeah.
You could then use a bonus action and then a subsequent action to pick more things up. But I'll say in the act of picking up a bow, you can almost just pull a couple of maybe I'd say 2 or 3 arrows out at the same time.
Okay, I will make an attack with my bow then against the closest one.
Against the closest guy, yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, first attack, 17.
Yeah, that hits.
10
yeah, very nice.
damage.
You sort of leap down.
Plus 2 as well for favoured enemy.
10 damage plus 2. Nice. He is still up, just.
Second attack. 16. I know I was close last time.
Just hits.
Okay. And then plus 2 to this as well for favoured enemy.
Very, very nice. Yeah, as you sort of leap down from this part of your bow, almost like this grin sort of comes over your face as you take up your bow and arrows. And it's almost just you just feel a lot more comfortable holding this stuff and firing it off. And it's very, very apparent as this arrow just sunk in between 2 large sets of sort of the ring mail. And as he turns around, trying to sort of swing around with his shield, you almost time it just so perfectly that it's between his sort of, just under his armpit there before his shield can make it out. Strikes him to the chest, and he falls very, very quickly and very, very silently to the floor.
I think you have +1 to damage.
I did that, so it's...
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. So it's rolling with the... Because my bow has the
okay.
thing from Irvin on it to make it a +1 bow.
Nice. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's everything I can do.
Fan-bloody-tastic. Next up, we've got Beats. Beats. Big fire. Baddies. You can also make a perception check if you'd like to try and find your box, maybe with some stuff in it.
I didn't know weapons could make perception checks.
This one is the best you can. This one's magical. Yeah. Where is it gone? Oh.
With an 8, you can't really see. I'll give it at the very least. You know it's not this one. This one's right around the corner. You can look around and see that one. But with the fire crackling everywhere, the immediacy of everything going on, you're a little bit. You're trying to be very, very quick with a lot of this stuff. So yeah, you don't see it with that.
Can I ask if 50 HP is okay to safe? Yeah, of course it is. I'm gonna.
Which one do you ask?
I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
And bonk this guy.
Yeah, I believe so. If I remember correctly from last session, you didn't have a scimitar. You just had a shield.
Yeah, a shield.
You were bonking people with a shield. So just make me a straight strength attack, please.
These didn't let you down last week, and they won't this week.
Oh, that just hits. Roll me 1d4. And
That's a strength. Did you say just strength roll?
Yeah, no, sorry. That's roll again. Not a strength save, just a straight strength roll. Let's just click the word strength. Oh, damn. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that still hits. So roll me 1d4, and we'll add 4 to it because that's your strength. Very, very nice. 8 damage. Very, very nice. As you sort of run behind this guy and bonk him on the back of the head with your shield. You get another attack if you'd like to make that against the same guy. Basically, just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, yeah. I mean, if you take away the 2, because it's not technically a thing you can use your bardic stuff on, but I mean, still, the 16 would just hit. So roll some damage.
Of course.
What's your strength? +4?
Yeah.
That is exactly enough. As you run up to this guy and just once on the head. The second time he brings up his own shield to block it, but you just smack him so hard over the head that his own shield bonks into his head and he falls out cold just on the ground. Very nicely done. Laying down that devastating beat. Anything else, Beats, on your turn?
Uh,
I believe the only things you've got, you used up Second Wind, you have like Bardic Inspiration and stuff like that, but otherwise...
I don't need to pick up a weapon.
You don't need to pick up a weapon.
Why is this such a long thought process in your head every time? I know, I won't pick up the weapon.
So I think I'm just gonna probably just get a bit closer.
Yeah, get a bit closer there, fair enough.
There we go.
Sweet. Garva, you are concentrating on the wall of fire.
Yes.
Shimmering wall of fire has just appeared in front of you, burning, I believe, 2 of them to death. What would you like to do?
They started it.
Yes,
so-
the guards started it.
I've got in my notes. Was it only Hedge and I that heard the people coming in from the southern door?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. 5, 10, 15. I will shout at... I say shout, you're like 10 feet away from me. But it's intense action, you know. But the blood's pumping. I'll say to Irvin, we need to hold the door, more are coming. And then I'll sort of look at... Because I think you've rolled strength already and it's not very high, is it? So I'll say maybe someone else should come and help with the door. And then I'll notice Ayla's in trouble and I'll fire off a guiding bolt.
Guiding bolt.
Let's go red-green.
Red-green. That would be a very, very difficult shot. I'll say that's about 3/4 cover, but I won't stop you doing it.
What, from the table?
Well, so
Or is that a column?
That's a column.
All right.
Sorry, yeah. So all these squares sort of around the table are columns. These square columns stand 5 by 5 feet. The weapons table, filled with all types of weapons and all types of different things.
Is there a reason one of the columns is coloured in?
I was experimenting with things. But,
If I go for red-blue instead.
red-blue instead, yeah. I'll probably still give them half cover because they're behind Ayla, but you can go for it.
Can certainly try. God loves a trier.
God absolutely loves a trier.
16?
16 with the half cover. Sadly, actually, even though without the half cover, that doesn't hit, I'm afraid.
That's annoying. Alright.
You sling this guiding bolt and it just straight through everyone and just causes this searing sort of burn on the wall with a slight light patch now shimmering on the wall. Everyone has advantage to hit the wall. That patch of it, anyway. Anything else on your turn, Garva?
So can I just ready myself to sort of, if anyone does come and close the door and hold it, help?
You can close. I mean, you can close the door.
I'll close it, and then
you can ready yourself to help if anyone decides to, help you with that.
Yeah.
Of course. So shut the door. Sweet. Ayla, it is now your turn. You are slightly surrounded by a bunch of guards here. What would you like to do?
Is it an action decision?
Yes.
And that will work for both of the guards.
That'll work for both of the guards, yeah. So action disengage. You can run threaten one.
Oh, far away can I summon my echo?
15 feet.
Can I do the thing where I swap places with my echo?
It's a bonus action to summon your echo, and then a bonus action to swap places, sadly.
Can I disengage?
Disengage, sure.
Can I go
That's an interesting one, because rules as written, yes, you can go that way. So yeah, I'll allow that. Yeah, you can go diagonally. 15.
20, 30.
Sweet.
I'm
And you're all done?
no, I'm not.
Oh, you're not
I'm
done. You're not done. Okay.
Gonna bonus action summon my echo
Uh-huh.
in front of my box.
In front of your box.
I get her to throw something from the box.
Yes. I'd probably say so. Commanding it to do something like that would be part of either an action or a bonus action. But I'll say that you can command your echo to at least open the box. Sure.
Oh, that doesn't do me any good. So,
Or at least pick something up itself from the box.
can she?
Yeah. She can interact with things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll get her to pick up my hammer.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to. You have to drag the actual. No, not that bit. That bit. There you go.
Yes, she's going to grab the stuff.
Grab the stuff.
Go 5, 10, 15,
20.
25, 30.
And I'll say you haven't used any of your sort of free actions yet, so if you wanted, she could hand over your hammer to you as she's running past.
Can she hand me the armor?
The armor, no. The armor would take a minute to put on anyway.
I'm doing really good.
Yeah, take the hammer. You were wielding one of the scimitars, but you can drop that and then just pick up the hammer. So yeah, sweet. And she's running back down here, and now that you have a weapon, she has a weapon. Congratulations. With that out the way, we then go to Irvin. Irvin, what are you doing?
I'm going to just ask. Wait, hold on. Is there any other doors in here?
Any other doors? Yes.
Or windows?
So there is this thing over here.
Okay, that's
This is a very, very large door that leads out into the arena itself. But other than that, that is about it.
Okay, I'm going to ask. Do you want me to lock the door?
Well, if you have the capability, sure.
Okay, cool. I am going to lock the door, please. Thank you.
Block the door.
No, lock it with
Oh,
arcane
lock
lock.
Yeah, I mean, you had keys to get in, didn't you? So.
I have arcane lock, so they.
Oh, okay, yeah, arcane lock, sweet. So yeah, you just turn around. How does arcane lock work?
I just. I'll put it in the thing.
Yeah, good idea.
There you go.
I confess I've never heard of it. Touch a closed door, window, gate, chest, other entryway. It becomes locked for the duration. You and other creatures you designate when you cast the spell can open the object normally. You can also set a password that, when spoken within 5 feet of the object, suppresses the spell for 1 minute. Otherwise, it's impassable until it's broken, and it's just impassable. Sweet. While affected by the spell, the object is more difficult to break or force open. The DC to break it or pick any locks on it increases by 10. Holy fuck.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, okay then. So, yeah, you turn around. How does sort of arcane lock look as you cast it on the door?
I just, go. Ooh, and just like shimmery gold bits just go boo, and then it's like, and then
I'm
it just looks
unfamiliar with this school of sarcastic magic.
normal. Never heard of it.
Yeah, nice. And with that, you can just hear the tumblers fall into place, and the door is locked. Sweet, yeah. Is that everything on your turn? Anything
I'm
else? Or?
also gonna go 5, 10, 15, 30. I'm gonna make my way towards the chest that has my stuff.
Okie dokie. Now that you've shut this area and locked it, I'll just hide it from your view. Very nice. Finally, we have the guards. So these two guards are sort of going to look around, and they are slightly more experienced than the average guard, but even they're starting to, like, you know, really kind of worry now, especially given that they're now outnumbered in a room that's got a big wall of fire, and they've just seen you lock them in with all of you. One of them, I think, is going to be a brave son of a bitch, and he's going to run over here. That's the wrong thing. I'm using the wrong tool. One of them's going where are they going to go? Yeah, I think they're both going to run sort of. This one's going to run over here, and this one's going to run up to your thing. So the one, red-blue is going to make a couple of attacks against you. The first one's going to be an actual strike. Fuck's sake. That is 12 to hit. 12 to hit you beats, I believe. What's your dexterity?
Um,
I think it's like 1.
yeah, 1.
1, so you don't have armor on, so your AC is 11, but you're holding a shield, so it's actually 13, so that doesn't hit. And with the next hit, he's going to try and grapple you, I think. So can you roll me an athletics check, please, Beats? See if he can get you grappled. Oh, that was actually quite close. He rolled a 19. But a 21, yeah, he tries to sort of reach out for your arm, then as he's failed a hit on you, reach out for your other arm, but you manage to sort of just shove him off a little bit back. This one's going to go for your red-green, is going to go for your echo thingamajiggy. That is a little bit better. That's 23, which I'm assuming hits. And your thing, sadly, disappears. So we'll just stick it here for now, so we don't have to keep grabbing it every single time. And after he sort of swipes on, he's like, what are we doing in here? The other one's like, I don't know. Fuck! All of you stand down now. There are guards outside. Please, just stand down. And this one's going to use the rest of his movement. So he was here. He's, I don't know, so he's gone 5, 10, 15. Just about make it up to there and make a couple of attacks against you, Ayla. That is a 8 to hit, which doesn't. And a 13 to hit. What's your dexterity? Because it's based off of your oh Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I have no idea. What the fuck? Okay. It's just, okay, that was really, really weird. So your armor class is 14 with your armor on, but without your armor on, it's 10 plus 2, 12. So that does hit. Where's my dice gone? Here's my dice gone. That is 6 points of slashing damage against you as he's slashed you. And I think that's pretty much on their turn. Outside the room, anyone with a somewhat decent passive perception can hear just like a door breaking in, and as it's broken, you can just hear the sound of heavy sort of footfalls and clanking of ring mail just sort of moving across the area. But that is pretty much that. And as you can hear a lot of this sort of clanking, and we're like, all of you, we have you surrounded. Come out of there now. But that's pretty much it. Hedge, it is your turn.
Okay, use my bonus action, just scoop up like a bunch more arrows and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about that. And then probably just move. The wall of fire is this thick line, isn't it? So this orange section in front. So I could...
in there, you will get hurt if you walk into it.
Yeah, but I can see through this area.
Through that area, I'm gonna say you'd shoot. Anyone through that area would maybe have half cover because it's flames, so it's not completely opaque, hidden, but it is still harder to see through.
Right, I thought the line was like the actual wall of fire, and then
I don't think rules has written this bit I've just slashed is like physically there. I think it's just if they go within that, they get like lashed by flame. That's kind of.
I thought that was like where the heat side of it was coming off.
Okay, yeah. In that case, then yeah, you can shoot through the other side, no problem.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot then.
Go for it.
Oh no!
12. Sadly, not. As you were, I'm assuming aiming for red.
Aiming for red blue first.
Yeah. So roll me a d20. Beats. Does that beat your AC?
I have sharpshooter where I ignore cover, but just in case.
Okay, you have sharpshooter, so ignores cover. So I'll say yeah. No, in that case, you won't hit Beats, but you sadly don't manage to hit this guy as the arrow he just brings up a shield in time and it clatters off. You do have another.
Literally goes between Beats' arm and midriff. Just goes through there.
Yeah, literally, like. Very,
imagine it's like when Beats is like pulling back the shield to smack him on the head, and it's like as he brings it forwards, there's suddenly an arrow embedded in it that you didn't see before. Yeah. I'm gonna take like 2 more steps over here and shoot red green instead. I'm gonna take the -5 on this and actually do the sharpshooter thing.
Okie dokie.
So -5 to whatever this is.
The arrow, you aim up this perfect shot.
They damaged it when they put it away. This one's broken.
Yeah, you proper squint your eyes, aiming up the perfect shot, and just as you sort of do this, it's like a just drip of sort of sweat hits your eye. You're a turtle. You're not meant for the desert. Why ever you are here, you have no idea. This drop of sweat just sort of gets in your squinting eye and just scatters off, and then just sort of trickles along the table of weapons, clangs against a couple of helmets and knives and things like that. Doesn't even make it the full distance, sadly. But there you are. That is rather unfortunate.
That's me.
Cool. Anything else?
No, it's all me.
That is all you. Beats, we'll move over to you once more.
Tried and tested. Beat him over the head.
Beat him over the head.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Roll straight strength.
Oof.
13, sadly, does not hit.
It was about time that missed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it does. You try and sort of bring up this thing. This guard is clearly a lot more skilled than the other sort of puny ones you've been fighting against.
Yeah.
So as you just try and bring this up, he just gets really, really close to you, so you can't quite bring it up as hard and get enough momentum on the swing. But you can roll again. You've got another attack.
There we go.
Oh, Jesus Christ, there you go, yeah. As you sort of just shunt him away, finally bring it back up, slam it down on his head. Are you doing the crusher thing where you knock him back?
Of course.
Of course, yeah. So with that sort of slam on the back of the head, on his head, he sort of stumbles a brief second, manages to stop 5 feet away from you. Yeah, anything else, Beats?
Can I still hit him?
No, you've used up both of your attacks, I'm afraid.
Can I
You can
look?
look around for your stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Roll another perception check. Again, you're kind of looking around, but in the moment, with this raw aggression, your mind is so focused definitely on this guy, especially as just, you goblin shite, and starts bringing up his weapon again to try and hit you. If there is nothing else,
Nope.
we'll go to Garva. Garva, the door is locked just behind you. You can hear the boot falls of people suddenly filling up that space outside of you. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so I imagine when Evan said she'd lock the door, I thought she'd just use a key. So I'm just sort of expecting this arcane lock, like, what is this? Witchcraft! And then I'll sort of come to my senses and realise, can I do a quick perception check to see where my stuff is?
Yeah, of course.
Perception is my speciality.
13. I'll say with the 13, you can ascertain there's none of these along this back wall that's near you. Just after a quick sort of look around, you think it's probably got to be one of the ones that you can't currently see due to your wall of fire. One of the ones on the back wall, maybe.
Okay. In that case, I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 34, 40. Yeah, fine. I can get here with my 40 feet of movement.
Yeah.
And then I will go for a little guiding bolt again.
Guiding bolt again.
Please. Please. Oh, come on.
As you sort of like stumble around, like you're a Loxodon, you're not necessarily a light-footed person. So as you charge behind, this guy almost like instinctively hears you. You summon this guiding bolt in your hands, you throw it, and he just sort of like. Anything else?
No, that will be everything.
Cool. In which case we will go to Ayla. Ayla, what are you doing? You got a guy on you. You got a warhammer in your hands.
How does the guy look?
He's looking pretty all right. I think he's only been hit once by you so far. So he's looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I got my kill. How many attacks do I get? 2 attacks.
Yes, you get 2 attacks.
Then use my bonus action to summon my.
Summon your thing. It's fine. I've got him down here. Roll down.
Oh, you
Just there.
I think.
I just moved it there so that it's a lot easier. Yeah.
Oh. Him.
Sorry.
No.
There. And you can make 2 attacks with advantage if you like. Go for it. Just your warhammer. All right. That definitely hits. Yeah, very, very nice. Roll damage. Are you doing it one-handed or two-handed? Two-handed, so he takes 8 damages. Nice. You can make another attack if you like. Oh. 14, sadly. Oh no, you have advantage. 22. Yes, cool. And 12 bludgeoning damage. Nicely done. Anything else? You've used a bonus action. Are you going to move? You going to stay where you are? Stay where you are. Sweet. Alrighty. In which case it is Irvin.
gonna go to here and then get my stuff.
And grab your stuff. Yeah. If you want to, so obviously you can pick up one thing just as a free action. So if there's anything specific you wanted to pick up, you can pick that up. But if you wanted to use your bonus action and action, you can pick up like a bunch of stuff. I don't really mind.
Yeah, I'll just pick up all my stuff.
Yeah, just pick up as much gear as you can. Yeah, of course. So yeah, you can pick up any weapons, any, like a pack of a lot of your gear and things like that. Sadly, you can't put any armor on.
That's fine.
To don armor takes a little bit of time. Yeah, you can pick up. I mean, if you're spending your entire turn doing that, then yeah, you can just pick up, as much stuff as you possibly can. Sweet. In which case, it is finally these guys' turns, and they're looking around. Do they feel confident? Roll to see how confident they're feeling. I was hoping that was a bit of a better, more decisive roll. I think they are feeling kind of confident, sadly. So I think this one will go for Ayla. That is a 11 to hit you. I don't believe it does, and he doesn't know what your shadow thing is, and that's a 15 to hit your shadow thing behind you. I believe it's 14 plus con.
Yeah, so no.
So no, that doesn't hit. So he's feeling real fucking dumb about himself. Actually, yeah, that's all he can really do. And the other one is going to rush back up to you, Beats, and try and hit you again. That's a 19 plus stuff. That definitely will hit. That is 10 slashing damage against you, Beats. And his next attack, he's going to try and grapple you again. So can you make another athletics check? Oh, yes, sadly, he rolled a 14 plus 4, so 18. So yes, you are grappled. This only means that your speed is 0, but from this, he can attempt another check against you to try and restrain you, which might be a little better. So just think of it like you just grab the sort of scruff of some of your fur, like some of the tufts of your fur to try and get you. Outside again, you can just hear this sort of barging, and you can just hear people like run up against the door. I'm gonna try and roll strength save for them, but they now have to roll over 20 to try and fucking open the door. No. So you can just hear these people like slamming up against the door. All of you, get the fuck out of there! These, probably quite decently sized guards just slamming against this door, and every time it does, there's almost like puff of like just gold magical dust just sort of falls off the sort of lock of the door, and the hinges of the door begin to slightly squeak, but it ain't budging. It's not budging anytime soon if they keep rolling like that. From outside, you can also just hear the guy going, "If everyone can please just keep a regular order leaving the premises. Although if you would like to stay, we are scrambling up some other entertainment for you. Please, everyone, just remain calm. Just remain calm. And also, can we get any and all available guards to Section E of the arena? Thank you very much." Hedge. Let's get some of these baddies.
Okay.
Goodies. Technically, in this situation, you guys are the bad guys, but
no.
Oh, what, the slavers?
The people that enslaved us, I think. No.
Everyone knew it was the slaves' fault.
Right.
We might deserve to be slaves.
Maybe. Who can say? Well, I'll do the good old Ranger Classic. Now I've got a bonus action, finally. And I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on red-green.
Hunter's Mark, red-green. Yep.
And
Ouch, AJ, just roll above a 2.
then I'm going to shoot the regular shot.
Pow.
No. Let's try again. No. That's not good. Oh, there you go. There's 2 attacks. So the first one...
both of them hit.
Okay, well the first one, let's see how much damage that does. So that is +2 for favoured enemy, plus Hunter's Mark, plus sneak attack because an ally within 5 feet.
Yeah, holy
so
shit.
11 plus 9. That's 20 damage on the first attack.
Okie dokie. Yeah, he's still up for this sort of attack. He's not quite expecting. He's got two people beside him, and this attack just slides beneath the sort of thing of his armor just on his side, and you can see physically recoils from that, moving slightly. Now a sort of gout of blood comes from his mouth as he just gets hit. He's looking quite rough, and then the second attack, you rolled it, 19 hits.
So 11 piercing damage and 3 hunter's mark damage.
This guy is fucking gonzo. As you watch the first attack, and then the next one just straight through the neck, and he just falls in a crumpled mess. You can just hear the loud clang of his armor as he drops to the floor next to you. He is fucking gone. Very nicely done. Anything else, Hedge?
No, that's just me. I'm just going to move up a little bit so I've got an angle. Actually, I don't have an angle there because of the wall of fire. I'll move. What was I about there?
How tall are you, JJ? How tall is Head?
Regular, 6 foot, between 5'10", probably.
Do a little loopy shot over the wall of fire.
You know what? That'd be cool. I'm a run and jump up on the table, preparing to shoot over the wall on my next turn.
Okie dokie, Beats. You're up.
Hey. I gotta get rid of this guy first, so I'm gonna bonk him.
Bonk him on the head. Go for it.
Bonk.
Oh, very, very nice. So roll me 2d4 this time. And add strength. 7, that's 11 damage on the first hit. Very nice, yeah, as you almost grab the thing by the side, Captain America style, spin it around and just chunk into the stomach, and you can just see you've taken the entire breath out of this guy as you've hit him first time. You have another attack. Also, you're doing the crusher thing where you're knocking him back. Oh, no! You've taken the crusher feat. Roll me another d4, because on critical hits, you deal an extra dice of damage.
Come on. Oh.
That was worth it.
That was entirely worth it. Cool. You can roll another attack if you'd like.
Yeah. Why is it not working? There we go.
Can we get this guy drug checked?
I am the drug.
How will you breathalyze, or how will you get a urine sample out of a weapon?
I am the weapon.
Well, we don't know why he was in prison, so.
I am.
This urine sample, it has a lot of other people's blood in it.
Oh, that is revolting.
So just roll me another d4 and your strength. 1 plus strength, 5. Pretty damn decent hit. And you can move him with a crusher back 5 feet. So yeah, after these two devastating things, one in the stomach, he loses breath, and then the next one, you literally just bring the shield up and almost uppercuts him in the face. And he's feeling, you can look on his face now, and as he looks over, he sees his friend shot down. He's really not happy, and he's also really not happy that he's getting beaten up by a goblinoid person, a fucking bugbear, with nothing but a shield to his fucking name. He's not a happy bunny. Next up. Oh, yep.
Oh, I'll have to take another look for my stuff.
Yep, perception check.
Where are
Got to be good.
Maybe
You can have one or the other.
check
You can have
first before
perception
do
or you
the
can have
attack roll.
attacks. You can't have both. Yeah, again, you're almost like lording yourself over these hits that you've made that you don't, you only take a quick second to look around, and again, you don't really find anything. Next we have Gava.
I will do a quick produce flame at this guy that Beats has been beating on. Please hit. 23.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely hits.
Oh, look at that magical 3 damage.
For 3 damage. Hey, it all adds up.
And then 5, 10, 15, 20. When I get to about here, can I do a little perception check for my stuff?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. So you can see that all of your stuff is within this center box, just back here.
40. Okay, so I can get there with my movement.
Yeah, nice.
And then
Very
I'll
quickly.
scoop all my shit up.
I'd say so. You can use. So you've used a. You've used
Action.
so I'll say you can pick like 2 or 3 bits up. Like you can't pick up all of your stuff, but you can pick 1 or 2 things up. Like maybe just like a pack of some of your stuff, and a couple of extra bits and bobs that you might have. So like take off 2 or 3 things. If it's like an explorer's pack or anything like that all counts as like 1 pack. So
Yeah.
just take that back. You've got that back now. And then like 1 other thing. But yeah, nice. Yeah, you can quickly open that, grab some of your stuff. Feeling good about yourself.
So one other thing, I'll take my wooden shield.
Cool. Wooden shield, bit of an extra bonus to AC. Nice. So, next up, Ayla.
Oh, was that my bonus actions? Actually, never mind. Doesn't matter. I haven't picked it up yet. Carry on.
Ayla. The guy next to you has been very badly slaughtered by your friend the Tortle. So if you want, you can go over to your chest and grab more of your stuff, or you can help take down this guy down below, or whatever you want to do. Yeah, are you just spending your full turn just grabbing all your stuff? Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, you managed to grab up most of your stuff. You are good on that front. Irvin, you now have most of your stuff. What would you like to do?
I'm going to move to here. I'm not going to get in the way if I'm there, am I? Because
No.
he's on the table.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put on my armor. Because that's an action, isn't it?
What armor have you got?
Studded leather, I think.
Studded leather will take 1 minute. So any light armor takes 1 minute. Medium armor takes 5 minutes. Heavy armor takes 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm going to start putting
You can
it on.
you can start putting it on. That's fine. Cool.
Yeah, and I'm just going to ask Hedge, how are you so calm about killing people?
Get under pressure, dangerous environments and stuff. You can't lose your head in a cave or what have you if there's like bats and stuff, those sorts of things.
That's all these are, just bats.
These are not bats, these are men.
Cool. These guys' turn. So this guy is going to look around the room and realize, holy fucking shit. He sort of looks at you and he's like, oh, fuck. Drops his scimitar, drops his shield, drops to his knees, puts his hands on his, I yield. Please, just, oh, fuck. Just, oh, God. Please let me live. Please let me live. You can hear from outside the rest of the people just barging against the door. We'll come out of initiative for the time being while these guys are barging against the door. And I'm just going to roll a quick couple of dice to see how long it'll take them to get through the door. But you guys can assume you have a decent amount of time. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can start putting your armor on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on!
Is this door over here the one that leads to the arena?
Yes.
Is that open?
It is not open as of yet. No. It's a so to sort of paint the picture of it, it's a big like stone door essentially. It's got like a parting in the middle. Very, very, very big, very heavy door. You think that if all of you were to push and make a decent effort of it, you could all push it open somewhat. You might have heard the sort of roar of some creatures while you've been in here, the opening and closing some of the doors in this place. Obviously, it's a big, heavy thing to keep monsters in or out, or people in or out while they're fighting. And it is currently unlocked. There is a big sort of bar that sort of slides across the side of it that is currently like slid open, so the door is technically open. So you could exit through there. Also, you guys, how long does your arcane lock last for, Irvin?
Until dispelled, it says.
Just until dispelled. Shit.
All it says.
Alrighty. Okay. What you fucking get, Ben? For that? Oh my god.
Ben, can I pick up my stuff, the rest of my stuff, and then head over to the door? And I'll ask Ada on the way to. Could you help me with the door? It looks quite the challenge.
Yeah. Are you gonna help him with the door?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I can put my armor on.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you guys. You guys have like 5 minutes in here alone, if you'd like. You can hear these guys. They've now got like a battering ram and are physically battering the door. But sadly, my dice have been much like they have been last week. You bastards. And after 10 rolls of the dice, I rolled above 10 twice. So you have like 5 minutes in here to do what you want, what you will. You can put any of your stuff on. You can grab all of your stuff. You guys now have all of your things. Also, everyone roll me 3d10.
3d10.
Oh, some good rolls in there.
So, like I said, all of your stuff is in here, including a lot of your gold and other people's gold that have come and gone. So whatever you rolled, times it by 10, that's the gold you got, as well as any starting gold you had in the beginning.
Times it by 10?
Times it by 10. So you guys could, you guys are level 8. I would assume at some point you guys, had jobs, got gold, did whatever the fuck you did. All of that was confiscated. 3d10.
Ben, I've been unemployed for 250 years.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Well, somehow you managed to amass a decent amount of gold.
That's why you're in prison. Thanks.
Yes. It's free accommodation in my eyes.
So, what is the plan now?
I would like to, after grabbing my stuff, interrogate this guard and be like, how do we get out of here? Clearly, we can't go that way. That way's the arena. What do?
That way's the only way. I mean, you could go to the arena, but that would be... I don't know what you're going to do once you get into the arena.
Are there any other exits to the arena?
Oh, well, yeah, on the other side, there's another big door. That's pretty much it, unless you climb one of the walls or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Have a crack at this door, Ben, with...
Yeah, of course. So how many people are helping out with the door?
Me.
So we've got Irvin, we got Garva, we got Ayla. You said you were going to help out with the door. Beats, what are you doing? You helping with the door? You interrogating the guy? You doing anything else?
Yeah, I'll help with the door.
Help with the door? So we've got 4 people helping with the door. Okay, so what I'll say is either all of you can roll athletics or 2 of you can roll it with advantage.
I'm a fairly strong boy.
Yeah.
And I assume Beats is as well, yeah.
You're also very, very strong. I actually think you're one of the strongest in the party, so you can...
let's just all roll for the shits and giggles.
Yeah, sure. Everyone who's helping with the door then, just roll an athletics check. No, sorry. Yeah. You all fucking rolled now. I don't give a fuck.
I believe there was an individual, and I won't name names, who wasn't pulling their weight.
Hell, everyone seemed really good, and
Everyone starts
when 2 dads are carrying something and a 5-year-old just comes in and gets underneath it and just pretends they're doing something.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you start to push, and Irvin, you start to think like, oh my god, I'm doing it, I'm actually helping. And then you slightly trip, and the door keeps moving, and you're like, oh no, this wasn't me. But the door does manage to sort of open a decent margin, to be fair. You can probably, by the time you guys have kept pushing and pushing and pushing, you can get sort of, a couple of people in at a time. There's sort of like a 10-foot gap then.
Is it like a lift-up door?
No, it's like a just push out door.
Oh, okay, so it's just a heavy push-out door. All right.
Yeah, just an incredibly heavy
How do they
door.
normally get it open then? Just
Hmm?
How do they normally get it open? Do they have like a mechanism to open it, or?
Well,
Yes, to your right, you see a lever.
well,
We've
as you push open the door, you do see on the ground in front of the door these large chains, and you can see wraps around the ends of some of the chains. You can possibly assume that they would get, these are very, very big chains. So to even grip these decently, you'd need to be a very large creature. So you can assume maybe they would get something of the like to pull open the doors and then push back the doors once the match is over, or whatever. You don't currently see these creatures as you sort of push the thing open. This guy is still sort of sat in front of you, Hedge, just like, I don't know anything else. This is the only way out. You've kind of cornered yourselves in here. We made sure the armoury was defended, and in a decent place.
How many people work here? How many guards?
Oh God, it's privately owned. I mean, at least a couple of hundred of us. This is a big fucking place.
Okay.
Not big enough.
Too many to kill.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, probably.
I don't know. We have a weapon.
Sounds like a challenge.
Ben, can I have a little perception check, see what awaits us in this?
Of course. As you all push out, you can all make perception checks just to sort of see what's out there.
Can I get this advantage because I'm smelling the air? Smells like death.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Sorry, that's me.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes, but your answer will be based on smells
Okay.
rather than what you can see.
Thank the Lord for advantage.
26. So you can. So you guys are looking out. Beats perception is not your forte, my guy. So yeah, you push out, and Garva, you sort of raise your trunk up, and you're trying to smell it, looking around the area, and it's a lot of blood, blood, guts, gore, that regular sort of thing, and you can smell a lot of the different smells as well around the arena, sort of caramelized treats and different spices of different things. You can smell ale being sort of the ale that's spilled, wine that's spilled over places. From where you guys push yourselves out from, you can even smell some of the perfumes of some of the fancier stages out there. As you push open the door, you can see, so this arena is purpose-built for fucking killing. There is a large sort of centerpiece where 4 stairs lead up, and in the middle of those 4 stairs, sort of like it's connected sort of into, think of it sort of like it's built into the stairs, and sort of in the gaps between the 4 bits of stairs is a large chainsaw, sort of buzzsaw spinning. In 4 corners of the place, there are 2 blades. Oh, there are like blades on podiums that just spin about sort of like 4 foot tall, and blood and gore and all sorts of stuff has covered a lot of them. In the dust and sand beneath your feet, you can see a lot of blood and everywhere. This place has been clearly used. Well, let's just say it would be ridiculous to put a play on in here today. This has clearly been used for some kind of gladiatorial combat and things like that today. As you push the thing
how
open,
big is it?
How big is it? It is. I actually have the map. I can
Now we
make
get
it.
to the map Ben originally wanted to use.
Well, yeah, I can.
I reckon this room originally had 4 exits, and Ben got rid of all of them to shoehorn us into this arena.
Yeah, I can actually put you guys onto the map. So you guys would come out of the south entrance. This is sort
the
of
blood. I see.
Yes. So you guys would be coming out of sort of here, and yeah,
I love
it
the
is
cat.
a pretty big area. A cat was, well, Chantel's generous donation to the creation of this map.
He left me
That's
a little laptop and added a cat.
Fair enough. It's
Yeah.
a big fucking cat.
It's a big fucking cat.
It
isn't it?
took all of the control I had to not fill the arena with cats. All of it.
Maybe the
I'll
City of
watch
Colours is just a tabaxi city.
Maybe. I mean, who fucking knows? And you can see as you push the thing, or rather, you can hear. Wait a minute, folks. Wait, it seems we may have a show after all. These are the. Wait, what the hell is going on? The prisoners are. Well, they've escaped, but they've escaped into the place they're meant to be going anyway. What is this? Can we get guards down here, please? And you can begin to see several guards that are sort of trying to push people out. A lot of people screaming and moving around and stuff like that. But a lot of them begin to turn. And then just start cheering, like, yeah, go the escapees, go the escapees, and things like that. And people are clearly, well, it's fairly late in the day, so people are, A, a little bit tipsy by now, and B, it's just something exciting. A lot of people after people pay quite a bit to come into this event. So after the disappointment of not having a thing, you guys, them being told that there's escapees, and then you guys suddenly bursting out into this place, it's quite exciting. It is, quite an exciting event, but a lot of the guards are still trying to shuffle people out, and then several of them turn and look towards you. Now, Irvin, with your 18, you're the first to see this. You begin looking around, and you are one of the only people to actually look up. And as you look up, the sky is suddenly filled with a shadow. Well, not really filled, but just over you, and a shadow is suddenly cast across the arena. A great beast, a huge being, swoops down from, it seems like it was perched on the edge, and it just sort of, and as it lands, the mere shake of it landing topples one of these podiums with the sort of blades, and it just falls over, and it just sort of stands there. And you can see it's this huge scaled creature. Scales are the color of like brass metal, large wings extending out from it. It's a large reptilian creature. It is, in fact, a huge dragon.
Oh, fabulous.
And as it lands here, it looks over the arena and at the many guards who are beginning to come down the stairways and stuff, and it looks at all of you and goes, "Well, you make a fine entrance, don't you? You will all do nicely." Looks at the guards. And this line of fire emerges out. The guards manage to pull up their shields, but a lot of them are sadly burned in the process, as well as a couple of people. It's sad to say, a couple of people do also get blasted, caught in the fire of the blast. He lowers himself and he says, "If any of you know what's good for you, I'd suggest hopping on. We have much to discuss."
On his back.
On his back.
Yeah.
This is a massive creature. This is one of the largest things you guys have ever seen. It is very, very impressive. You can see he has these two protruding horns from the front of his sort of chin area. The wings on his back extend, from his sort of back and go in this like triangle shape all the way down to the very tip of his tail, as if they sort of extend that way, connecting all across his back. He's a very, very impressive creature, and he shines his scales, his brassy scales, shine as if he's been polished several times over, except for some dust marks and things like that. But yeah, you guys can get on his back if you'd like to.
I mean, it's not a good option, but it's definitely the best one we have.
I mean, he can't kill us if we're on his back unless he literally flops. And you know what? I think that would be a quick death, so yeah.
The worst of two evils.
Yeah. Ayla's on board. Ayla immediately runs. Irvin runs.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Yeah. Hedge, you're, funnily enough, the last person to leave as you're just interrogating this guy. Are you leaving this guy?
No, I'll leave him.
You'll leave him?
He's not a threat or a contract.
As you leave him, he sort of looks down, and then he goes to chase you. And he runs after you. Can you make me either an athletics or acrobatics check as he tries to grapple you and stop you leaving?
Well, he's made a mistake, hasn't he? Acrobatics.
That was very, very close. You rolled a 21. Yeah, as he sort of grabs onto the back of your shell, you almost just twist around, knocking his arms away, and then just sort of push him back. Managing, you're a rogue. You're very, very quick. So you manage to run up. The dragon sort of turns around, looks over you. I'd duck if I were you, Mr. Turtle. And as you duck, just burns, and this guy just turns to ash right in front of your faces. Just nothingness. Now people are screaming, and
Well,
now
that saves
people
me the trouble of shooting him.
terrified. And now people are fucking terrified. There's screaming, there's crying, there's all sorts.
And that's just
The
amazing.
dragon sort of looks back at you. All right, everyone is going to have to hold on. This is going to be an interesting ride. And quickly it's... And with a quick flourish of air, he flies off into the skies, quickly high up above the area. I'm just going to roll a couple of... There's some guards or some longbows and things. They're going to try and shoot some of you. They're going to have disadvantage on some of these attacks, however, because they will be very, very quickly out of range. So to hit you, Hedge, that's a 15, which I don't think hits.
Nope.
To hit you, Gava, that's a 13. No. To hit you, Beats, that is a... God, they're rolling actually quite well. That is a 16.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that hits you, so you take just 3... 6. That's the number I was looking for. 6 points of piercing damage.
Oh, dear.
To hit you...
Are you low, right?
God, and
lower-
you a level. Oh God. Have you changed your armor, or are you like you've got your armor on, but are you changing it to the fancy one or the non-fancy one? The fancy one. So yeah, you guys see as Ayla sort of gets up on this thing from the studs in her armor, it just begins to sort of the studs begin to turn into these plates, and suddenly it turns into plate armor. But sadly, none of them hit you, and very very quickly you're flying up and over the city. Bells are beginning to ring throughout the city as the sun begins to slowly sort of drop over the sky, and a red, lovely sky emerges with you. And now you can see, even now, see some of the stars beginning to emerge. And as you fly off, it's now, you know, in the wind, you feel quite cool as you sort of fly by this area, twisting and turning. The dragon sort of looks back at you. Well, I certainly didn't expect this day to go this well, but you all do seem very interesting. And he swerves down, heading south towards the vast desert to the south of the city. And as he swerves down and brings himself down, it's over a sort of large set of dunes, sand dunes, some of the first sand dunes that sort of begin the vast desert south of the city, that he sort of turns around, swerves around the dune, lands, lets many of you off, and as you can see, he lands near this carriage, almost like a carriage ready for this to happen. The carriage is run by a small, almost a lizard folk man. He is quite literally a lizard, but imagine like a desert horned lizard. So he's got this sort of very sandy scales over him, a couple of horns over his sort of snout and things like that. He's got basic sort of rags on, and a carriage. Not a fancy carriage by any means, more of a wagon really. And as he lands, this brass dragon sort of curls his wings back over himself, and in a swirl of sand, turns himself into a person. Well, a dragonborn, who still has wings on his back and a tail along his below his legs as well, but has turned into a person, and he finally greets you. Ah, well, wasn't that rather fun?
That's one word for it.
I must apologize for the slight interruption, but you understand. Well, you don't really understand. You don't know anything yet. I apologize. My name is Suvol Dran. I am a dragon of this desert, and well, let's just say I needed a little help with something, and I thought maybe that you could all provide it. After all, you do somewhat owe me now from saving you from what was probably quite imminent death.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but this sounds an awful lot like blackmail.
I mean, it could be blackmail, it couldn't be, but you don't seem to help me there. I don't really see a need in keeping you here. And, well, now that you know my name, it's, be rather unfortunate just to let you go and, well, tell the guards if you're, you know, for you to tell the guards who I am, really. Consider this more of a business opportunity, and an opportunity to maybe get yourselves, well, enough gold to, well, pay off any sort of paroles and debts you made to this city, or free yourselves from this city and any of these lands. You could go on anywhere on the Celestial Road and, well, live a life of luxury if you wished. With what I'm offering, that is. But first, I need to know that all of you are in for a potentially dangerous operation that I need you all for. I do not do this for just anyone.
How did you become aware of our skills? I think we were appropriate.
Oh, I was watching the whole thing. Well, not your whole thing. I was actually waiting for your event. I do often come to some of these events. They are quite entertaining. But as soon as I started hearing that the people of the event had escaped and were starting to murder many of the guards, well, to me that seemed more apt and entertaining than, well, anything you could have put on out there. I think they were going to get you up against some snake people or something. But for you to all escape yourselves, defeat as many guards as you did, make it to where you did, that requires a certain amount of resourcefulness and a certain amount of skill and proficiency in dangerous tasks that I believe will be very useful to you in what I need from you. So I made a quick judgment call, and, well, here we are, and so far you do not disappoint. I was slightly worried you'd just be a few little humans, but no, we have a Minotaur, a Loxodon, a lovely Dragonborn with scales I've not quite seen before. It's impressive. And, a Goblinoid. Rather fabulous, yes. What a total folk. I wasn't aware any of you were around here in this desert. Oh, this is rather interesting. Yes, I think you will all work wonderfully, yes. So what do you say? And he sort of leads, sort of like points over with his arms, or waves his arms over towards the carriage. Are you all in?
I just go in.
You just are going? Sweet.
What are we even doing?
Yeah. Here's
We'll
this job,
find out.
accept it. No idea what you're doing, but accept it.
Well, you will find out soon enough. I just, well, I mean, I could tell you. What difference would it make, really? Find out now, find out later. Say no and I burn you.
Next time on.
I'd rather have time to think what we're going into.
And as he sort of sighs, you can just see the sort of ripples of like warm air come from there. Very well. And you can see, so he's wearing, when he turns, he does actually have like clothes on, and these do seem to be long, almost like golden colored robes, these very loose fitting robes that are over him. Well, if you really must know, I'll give you a bit of an introduction as to what you might be facing. Across the desert in my lair, someone has, well, shall we say, invaded it. I'm unable to go back there and clear them out myself, for they have something I need within that lair. Never mind my horde, they have something much more important to me. I need them wiped out. Now, you all seem pretty good at breaking out of places. Maybe you might be quite good at breaking into somewhere. I do not know who it is that broke into my lair. Only that they did.
Question.
and if I come back, terrible things might happen. So I need someone to do this job for me. The local city would not help, so I decided to look for other options. I was hoping that you would come out and do your match, and I would maybe be impressed. And if I were impressed, we could do this more of a business deal, where I might be able to pay for some of your parole and, well, buy you out of prison, really. But it seems you all took a few steps into your own hands. And so here we are.
I still don't understand why you need us.
Because if I go anywhere near my lair, the people that are currently in my lair said they will hurt the thing that is very precious to me.
Is it a person?
No, it is not a person.
It's an item.
And it can't feel anything.
Trust me when I say it is very important to me, and it matters not what it is, only that you all go in there, find out what it is, and eradicate them with as little mercy as you can possibly give.
Oh, so you don't know what it is they hold, or you do?
I know what it is they hold, I just don't know who they are.
Okay.
Right.
Well, how are we getting there?
Well, step into the carriage and I might tell you.
Okay. Get that into the carriage.
Enter the carriage. Alrighty.
This is a one and done deal, right?
Of course. You rid those things of my lair, and you can take as much gold, items, or anything in there that you can carry. I personally will take you wherever you need to go. And once that's said and done, you should be set for pretty much life, I should assume.
Insight check.
Yeah. Roll insight.
Yeah.
So you might know a little bit about dragons. They are generally everywhere. And even if you didn't know much about dragons, you can assume the bigger, the probably more powerful. This one was very, very big. And therefore you can assume he was quite powerful. And with this power does come a sense of sort of ease about these things. And he's choosing his words very, very carefully. And he's making it, he is not giving many facial expressions and things like that. So you can't necessarily tell whether he's truthful or not, but from the way he's talking about what he's talking about and how it's precious to him, you can maybe assume that it's true. Hedge, you gain a little bit more insight and you're able to think like through as stern as he's trying to come off and as wise as he's trying to come off, there is a very sort of faint sense there that whatever it is that's within this place, yeah, it is really quite precious to him. And he does seem fairly genuine in getting it back and a somewhat hard day's work kind of thing with the way he said he was originally going to buy you out of there and things like that. So, yeah, you can assume, yeah, seems fairly genuine with his reward that he's potentially bringing you.
So we get on the wagon. I'm guessing he's not coming with us on the wagon.
Oh, no, yeah, he's coming with you.
Oh, okay.
How far is the lair from here?
Oh, it's quite far, but first we will not be going to the lair. First, we'll be going to my, brief hideout that I've been staying at for now. You've all been in prison for quite some time, I hear. I think a good night's rest is in order, and it is coming to night time. You do not want to be starting a journey through the desert in the night. That much I can tell you for free. So, you'll step into my carriage. We will be off. He steps in, he clicks his fingers, and appearing at the front of the carriage aren't two horses like you would expect, but two giant lizards. Very, very large lizards. As long as two men strap them sort of rein to the carriage, they sort of apparate from the sand, and they begin pushing themselves through the sand very, very quickly. Back sort of around the dune you've come, a little bit sort of eastward, and towards what you can see is almost like a small farm that seems to be growing these bright sort of blue and purple flowers. As you arrive, he beckons you in very, very quickly. You are now outside of the city, but even from here, you can hear the bells and tolls, or the bells tolling and ringing out from the city. Clearly, the city is on high alert for you there. As you enter this farm, it's not a well-off place. It's quite a simple sort of wooden hut, wooden shack almost. But it has several rooms, many for you to sleep in. One or two of you might have to take the floor, but he lays out blankets and things for you. And before you go to bed, he's got the lizard folk guy who who now known as Greekish, his name. And he seems quite a jittery lad. He's clearly not old enough to, have any wisdom or anything about him. And he's, but, old enough to have a sort of adult shape about him and be able to do certain things like that. And Greekish does cook a decent meal for you, a basic sort of stew. Hands it all to you. And before you go to bed, Suval approaches you and he says, I apologize, I was not very forthright before. I just wanted to make sure you were all well. I needed time to trust you, but it seems that the city, well, they want your heads. I would suspect by now, well, halfway down the Celestial Road probably knows your names. Maybe. Sending stones and the like, and, well, they're very common. And so, I feel I can somewhat trust you here. I can say that the thing they have in my lair is in fact my child.
I knew it was a person.
Well, they're not yet a person, they are
An egg.
but an egg at the moment. Me and my partner, my wife, have been taking care of the egg for years now. And given the slight temperature variations and the color variations of the egg, we know soon it will be hatching. I went out to do what any good dragon father does and begin its hoard. While I was away, I received a message from within my lair from someone I do not know, a voice I do not heard, and I never forget a voice. The voice told me that my partner, my wife, was gone, and if I was seen anywhere in the sands, my child would be harmed and taken too. So for now, all I know is he's maybe safe. Maybe. Like I said, I need you to go in and take care of whoever this was. My lair is in the ancient ruins that you will find if you keep following the South Star. Continue following the South Star for as long as you can, and in the distance you will see the spire of an ancient temple. The temple will have a large sort of sign of an eye upon it. You will know that is the entrance to my lair. Head within the tower, head down into the temple that has now been since covered by the sands, and be rid of anyone in there who is not draconic or not my egg. Anyone. Once you've done that, within my lair is a sending stone. You may use that to send word to me that the job is completed. And from there you'll be able to take your things and, well, do whatever you want to do with your lives. Are we clear? Fantastic.
A contract, then.
A contract, indeed. So in that case, I suggest you all rest up for the night. Greekish is going to head into town. Considering your and my new notoriety within the town, it seems only apt that he should go in and collect whatever provisions you need for you. Is there anything off the top of your head you can think that he might wish to get? Supplies, potions, anything you might know of, anything you might be able to think of?
Do you know anything about the group that's taken over? Do you know, like, is it a large group? Will there be fighting, or do you think we can slip in and get it without engaging anyone?
I sadly have no idea, Master Loxodon. All I heard them say is, we have taken your wife. We have hurt. We will hurt your child. So I know there are a numerous amount of them. That is.
Got any paper?
Yes, I believe I have some paper on there somewhere, and he moves across to some like a desk, rips a page at the back of a book, hands you a small sort of quill as well that's been dabbed in some ink.
I need to send a letter.
A letter? Who to?
The people I work for.
Alrighty. Of course. Well, yes, send your letter. Yes, Greekish will be able to deliver this to. Make sure you get the address on it. And yeah, Jody, you can write your letter up. No props.
Cool.
Is there anything anyone can think of that Greekish might be able to acquire?
Definitely some potions.
Some potions, of course. Yes, of course. Greekish. Note them down for, well, as many. I would assume you mean healing potions, potions of the sort. Yes, one might need some of those. Yes, put that down, Greekish. And you can see Greekish is sort of stood there with another bit of paper and a sort of quill, and he's holding a bit of paper, but he's writing on his arm. You have no idea why. That's what he's doing. So he's holding a bit of paper like this, and he's like,
Good manservants are in short supply.
Greekish, what do you... Greekish, what are you doing? What? Okay, fine. You do you, Greekish.
Greekish is a few scales short of a full lizard folk.
Well, yes, that is one way to put it. Do you all have water skins? You will need them for the path ahead. Being in the desert, you will definitely need water and food.
How many days travel do you think it is?
On foot, I'm thinking it would be about 5 days or so.
Okay.
But
Can you drop us off a bit closer?
Well, depending on whether they actually show up in the morning, I think I might be able to grant you a little bit more travel, but I shan't get your hopes up quite yet. Maybe they should be able to take you much closer, yes. But, yeah, so you all need water. Greekish, make sure that they all get, well, do you all have a water skin? Does everyone have a water skin available or something?
Yeah, I do.
I think so.
Fantastic.
I'm perhaps not as well versed in espionage as my compatriots here, but I would not say no to some explosives.
Explosives. A loxodon of action. I like that. Yes, Greekish, write this down. Anything that goes boom, and Greekish just goes anything that goes.
That is a dangerous command to give
and
to
then
someone
he
like
just writes
Greekish.
O, and he just keeps writing O's, and then a final just M with an exclamation point. Boom! Aha!
Can I also get a thing of a supply of ball bearings and caltrops?
Ball bearing caltrops. Write that down.
Those are two things. One, ball bearings and caltrops.
Ball bearings and caltrops. I apologize. I do not know what you what people use. Ball bearings and caltrops. Greekish, who's now ran out of space on his arm because he's written too many O's, is now moving on to different parts of his body. He's moving on to his leg now. He's like sat up, right on his shin, like. And he's clearly spelled ball bearings and caltrops very, very wrong. But there we go.
If we're going below the sand, climbing equipment.
Right on his
Pitons.
stomach.
Pitons.
Yeah. Piton's rope.
Anything you may need from in town. Yeah. Don't think so.
Piton's rope and a hooded cloak. Something to keep
A
the sun
hooded-
off.
Hooded cloak. Oh, yes, in case of the sandstorms and the like. Hooded cloak, yes. Now, what are you going to do about, I've heard that the, What are you going to do about the heat? Any ideas on the heat?
Oh, the heat. I thought you said the sheet.
Oh, no, not the sheet. Do you need a sheet? I can get Greekish to get you a sheet.
No.
No? Okay. Greekish. Oh, no, he's already written on a sheet. No,
I'm
cross
assuming
it out, Greekish. Cross it out. I apologize. A simpleton, Greekish now writes on his other half, simpleton.
Oh no, we're gonna get another sidekick.
I was travelling quite a bit for my profession before my unfortunate arrest, so I think it's best we do not travel during the middle of the day. We'll travel in the early mornings and the evenings.
Something
That may be good.
we'll need some shelter then during the day. Something portable.
I think that would also be quite apt. I don't know how much any of you know about the desert, but it can obviously get quite warm out there, especially in the middle of the day, traveling through that heat. Well, for me, it has no effect. My scales manage to keep me cool, but for you, well, yes, this could cause quite a bit of exhaustion, fatigue. I've heard many tales of travellers of your kind, and picked up a thing or two from many fallen travellers of your kind who have underestimated the heat of the desert.
Ben, would I know from exploring around this sort of area, is it like a really sandy desert, or are there like sort of like little rocky outcropping bits and things like that, so we could maybe shelter, or is it just like sand for as far as I can see?
A nature check.
Nah.
9. I mean, it's a desert. Obviously, there's obviously going to be some sand, and from best that you can sort of think, like you can't quite remember from many of your travels, because a lot of it you were walking around was desert. You can't remember if you'd seen any other sort of craggy bits, but you've got to think in the vast desert that there is. Like, this thing is like the size of the Sahara, even bigger, So in the vastness of it, there's got to be some different terrain out there, maybe, but you're not quite sure.
Okay.
A tent.
So yeah, probably tents then.
At least 2.
Yes, Greekish. Tents. Write down tents. Writes down tents, but like TNSE, not tents.
Is your manservant going to be okay bringing all of this back?
Oh, yes. I've given Greekish apt amounts of money to be able to... Well, he's taken the carriage, you see.
I'm not worried about the money. Oh, he's got the carriage, okay.
Well, yes, he'll be taking the carriage. With the carriage, he'll be able to bring everything back. Won't you, Greekish? Greekish just knows like, Ma. Well...
So excited. None of the things we asked for.
Don't we want something to carry everything? Or we got to do it? No, stop that. I want to ride.
A pack mule.
I want to ride.
Want to ride?
I ain't walking all this way. Jesus.
Who's this Jesus?
Oh, it's a mate I knew.
Ah, I see. Well, yes, maybe we could get you a pack animal of sorts. Yes. Greekish, write down pack animal. Greekish, who has now finally run out of space on his body, finally goes to the bit of paper. Pack animal.
He's so clever.
Anything else? Or might that be it?
Can't think of anything.
Well,
some climbing kit, clothes, tents.
Some sort of evasion. A smoke bomb.
Smoke bomb. potentially. Yes, Greekish, write down smoke bomb. Why not? Who knows what these artificers in the city can come up with nowadays? Greekish writes down smoke bomb.
A crowbar and a series of glass vials.
Crowbar and glass vials. What are you cooking up over there, Twaddle? Sounds rather interesting. Well, yes. Crowbar, glass vials. Well, if you think of anything else,
then
do not hesitate to let me know. I'll be outside. I do not like sleeping in your beds. No, I'll be sleeping where I belong amongst the dunes. But should you think of anything else, just come outside. You'll see me. And with that, a very good night to you all.
Big horn.
Excuse me?
Horn.
I want the biggest horn.
You want the big... Why, if I might ask?
Hey, you just leave it to me, okay? This is, you want me to do the job? I'll do the job. I want a horn.
You want a horn. Greekish, write down horn, but I'm very interested to see what he does with this. Someone make sure you see him whenever he uses this horn. I'd be very interested to see what he can do. I will trust you, Goblinoid, but...
Trust me,
Master
guys,
Sivan, is there...
it'll be useful there.
Does this need to be 5 people that do this job?
Well, it can be whoever you wish to do the job, of course. I would ask that you not tack anyone else on. Maybe keep it as the 5 of you, but... Well, should any of you fall along the way, well, that is obviously very, very sad, but maybe you could do it with 4. Who knows?
I'll just look at Beats and say, I'm not entirely sure subtlety is your forte.
And I've known you just as long. Just I know what I'm doing. I've lived here my entire life. Trust me.
You said nothing persuasive there at all.
Good night. I'm just gonna...
I've been Beats. Good night.
Yeah.
One more thing, a flask of oil.
Flask of oil. Oh, yes, interesting. Flask of oil. Make sure you write down flask of oil. Flask of oil. Well, that is everything.
Enough good to get Greetish.
If you can think of anything else, well, yes, make sure you let me know. Otherwise, it's been lovely meeting you all. And good night. And he begins to walk out the door. And he turns to the last thing and says, oh, and I suppose it goes without saying that, well, me not being in my lair, I have a lot of time on my hands. So should any of you just think and decide that you want to up and run, well, I would suggest maybe not doing that. I am known to have mood swings from time to time, and you do not want to catch me on an aggressive one. But hopefully that won't happen. You all seem like very trustworthy people, especially you, sir, with the horn. I'll be very interested to see what he does with that. And with the flask of oil and everything, you seem to be very, very prepared, Mr. Turtle. I'll be very, very excited. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good night. And he leaves the space, and you can see as he sort of leaves, he begins sort of walking across the sands, seemingly out into like nowhere, until in a very, very swift motion, his robes sort of morph into himself, the scales and everything grows, he turns back into his draconic form, and then he pushes his face sort of under the sand, pushing the rest of him under the sand, and then he sort of flicks a lot of it up over him. And so he's sort of like half now in the sand, half out of it. Like, he's almost used the sand as a massive blanket, like the sand of this massive dune as a blanket, and all you can really see of him now in this, like from this dune, is his head and his like bit of his tail sticking out. And he does this cozy. And if you'd like, you unless there's anyone else would like to do this fine evening, Greekish quickly sort of takes all of his notes and, well, everything out onto the carriage. He's like, and quickly leaves with his large 2 lizards that skittle off towards the city. You're all left in the house, and yes, like I said, if there's anything, unless there's anything anyone would like to do, you can all take a long rest, regain all HP, spell slots, all that good stuff, and we can take a 5-minute break there, I think. I'll see you
That's
all.
not how I saw that going. I thought we were going to fully fight our way through every single guard in that arena.
Well, that was an opportunity. I did roll for to see, because it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. Yeah, but you all actually did quite well in getting yourself out. Sadly, you this has obviously meant that you couldn't go into the city yourselves to maybe look through some magic shops and blacksmiths and all sorts of stuff. But well.
Grandmaster Greetish to get everything we need. What's the issue?
Absolutely.
Wait, my first time in the city, and probably my last.
Yes, well, for the time being, it definitely seems that all of you guys are not necessarily wanted in the city. Yeah, JJ also let me know what, if that letter that you were sending was potentially quite important. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you guys in 5 minutes for the rest of this session. So, you guys wake up bright and early in the morning, or rather you are awoken bright and early in the morning by Weekish finally returning and going, and coming back through the door. Or rather, he's not really, he's more, falls into the door. Outside is a wagon loaded with shit.
Is that a technical term, Ben? Yeah.
Yes, loaded with crap. Everything on your list. You didn't ask for anything magical or anything particularly difficult to get that you couldn't get in any of the bazaars or any of the places in here or any of the different places in Az-Zafar. He got you 2 regular potions of healing and 1 potion of greater healing. Yes, he got you caltrops, ball bearings, a climber's kit. Sadly, he only got you a single climber's kit, but that comes with things like piton, and it comes with like pitons and things like that, so you could somewhat reuse some of that stuff. And yeah, he managed to get you a bunch of stuff like that. So everything that you asked for, you can split between you and add to your inventory.
Explosives?
Explosives, yes. I was just going to get that. So explosives, he asked around, and as Suvol sort of enters the building, he sort of starts going like, basically saying that he couldn't ask for anything too extreme because otherwise he'd get arrested, considering what's recently happened in the city. However, he was able to buy from an artificer these. It's basically a simple thing. It's like a glass sort of vial with a stopper and a small cork at the end, basically like a Molotov. So you'd light the little cork at the end on fire, that lights the things inside on fire. You throw it up. Basic stuff. You got 2 of those, 2 essentially what are called shatter bombs. They deal 48 fire damage, deck save, DC 13.
Happy to take 1 shatter bomb. I don't mind who gets the other one. I just advise that it isn't beats.
Excuse me?
Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it.
I could hit a bomb like a bat.
And it would blow up in your face.
This is a bad idea to hit the thing called a
I will
shatter
blow
bomb.
up in the bomb's face.
You blow up in the bombs. Well, yes,
Let me know
you
how
would.
that goes.
You would, after hitting a bomb, you would blow up too.
Okay, well, we'll stand over here. Just making mental notes to just like increase the like passive distance I always keep from beats. There's this loud trumpeting, horn carrying, and now explosive wielding bugbear. It's just like I'm gonna just stand safe, just more and more distance away.
Fair enough. So, yeah, you guys can all gather your supplies and gather the several things that have been given to you. All water skins are refilled, and as well, Hedge, he managed to buy a couple of basic things like a couple of arrows and daggers and things like that, so you can refill your arrows from yesterday, and anyone else can refill other sort of expendables that they may have used in the day previously. Suvol sort of grants you exit, and he's like, aha, so they have arrived, I see. And he turns around and he looks towards the gate, and you guys can see 2 giant lizards. The giant lizards both have saddles on their backs, reins on them, sort of straps all around them. These will be the means with which you will be traveling across the desert. Now, standard, they are quite docile. They don't necessarily fight all that great, but, you know, with enough commanding, you could maybe do such a thing. Be careful with them. They're not fully trained, though they, you know directions. Just move the reins for where you want them to go, and simple clicks and things with your tongue will, do different things. 2 clicks go, 1 click stop. Simple little things. Simple creatures they are, but I'm sure they will serve you fine. They do not need much watering or feeding. Maybe anything you kill out there, just give them a bone or 2 and they'll feed off that. But otherwise, they should serve you quite well. They'll be able to carry much of what you need and what you require out there. I believe we also might have a camel or 2 somewhere in the stables over here if you would prefer things like camels rather than lizards, but it's entirely up to you.
It takes 3 people as well as all our stuff.
Hmm?
We're not exactly light cargo, are we?
So they can, essentially, each one can have 2 people on it, sadly. So one person will either have to walk or do something to catch up.
Does that account for one being an elephant man and one being a tortoise man?
Well, yes, this is the slight problem. You guys aren't regular people. You guys are quite tall, quite large creatures. So they'd probably be traveling, like they'd be able to carry you, but they'd be traveling a bit slower. Otherwise, they can just be...
I'll take a camel.
We can pull the turtle on back, being pulled by one.
So like
slide along on the shell.
He just lies on his back, and the lizard will do the rest.
That is deeply offensive.
If I take a count, are we all right apart from that? I mean, is one going to be able to take a bugbear and a turtle, or a bugbear and a dragonborn?
Yeah,
and a minotaur, actually. Yeah,
they're pretty big things. They're like 15 feet long. Pretty big, bulky creatures. Just sort of sat there. They're probably about sort of 3 to 4 feet sort of tall. You do have to sort of climb up onto them. They're more like very giant lizards rather than like regular giant lizards.
It's like when you overload a car and they just sort of like sink a couple of inches on
the suspension. Yeah, it will be that they sink a little bit. They might need to rest a little bit more given the size of many of you. But they will be able to carry you a somewhat decent amount of the way. Probably. Again, like I said, they may need to rest and things like that. But hey-ho. So you have 2 lizards and 1 camel. Is there anything anyone would like to do before you set off on your journey? Or...
So is there like a recluse... Well, this would be before Greetish got back. Is there like a little dark room I could have gone to in this cave?
Well, no. This is like a farm. So it's like like a shack. So yeah, there's many rooms in there you could have gone into to do certain things. So yeah,
I'll just go in there and consult my star map, and that's what that 14 was for.
Okay. What does that mean exactly?
So it's an ability I've got that it depends whether I roll an odd or an even number.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you can consult your star map, and I'll say with that star map as well. I'll allow you to make checks at night time, sort of with the stars and things like that, to keep you on a somewhat like you would know what the South Star is. You'd know to be able to identify it. So if you're traveling at any time where you might be able to see the stars, I might give you advantage on certain checks to keep following that trail and not necessarily get lost.
Just so I'll try and remember as well, but just so you remember, I have the Wanderer background as well, so I've got a really good memory for geography, and it says I can always find food and fresh water for myself and 5 people if the land offers it in some way.
Okay, yeah. That's the main thing obviously in the desert, is especially with water, if the land offers it, you know. But food, yeah, that's no worry. And I also know that JJ, I believe you've got like good berry or something as well. So I believe you guys should be fine on the food front. It's the water front. That will be important because each of you has a water skin. These water skins, on average, carry about 4 pints of water. You will need to at least drink some water every day or make a con save. The con save will get higher and higher for every consecutive day you don't drink water. Obviously, going out and finding places with water might take away from some time that you spend actually traveling south, and it might get you somewhat lost because obviously it's a big, massive desert. There's not necessarily always going to be certain waypoints and waylines and things like that for you to find certain things. So be wary and be ready for that. You can all have like a drink of water this morning. Like breakfast is served for you. It's very, very basic, very, very basic sort of thing. Simple sort of breads, hard cheese, a glass of water. Yeah, you're able to get that stuff. Suvol is waiting outside, sat by a sort of fence, just sort of waiting for you. And as you all come out, says, "Are we all ready then, or are you all ready? In fact,
It's taking what items? Do we do that now before we get into the middle of combat, and then just forget what we all got? Who's taking what items? So we do it now before we get into combat and forget who's got what." So I've taken a shatter bomb. I don't need any potions because I've got healing spells.
Okay, yeah. So you've got two shatter bombs. So yeah, Garva, you've got one. Who would like to take the second one?
I can take the second one.
Yeah, Irvin, you can take the second one. And as an artificer, this is like very, very crude type stuff that he's got for you.
Oh, no.
But it'll do. You just sort of you would sort of look at this and like be like, okay, I'll definitely keep this, like double tie this to my pack. If this just falls on the ground, that could be, because it's simple glass, almost like mild, fairly thick glass, but still. You have 2 healing potions and 1 greater healing potion. Who would like to take that stuff?
I think definitely give one to the bugbear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to, just take it, but I think I'll need it.
If you take the greater one, then and then 2 others take the minor ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Greater healing.
Maybe Ayla, since she's on the front line quite a bit.
Yeah, so Ayla's got 1, you'd say?
I think Hedge, because he's remarkably mobile. When he needs to be.
Okay.
Not when he's racing a hare, but apart from that, he's pretty good.
Okay.
Cool. Things like the climbers kit and that, you can stick within the packs on the lizards if you'd like, unless one of you would like to physically carry that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can fly, can't you? So you're good. What else did you get? Was anyone else?
Caltrops, ball bearings.
Caltrops, ball bearings. Who would like to take some of that stuff?
I'll take all of that.
Okie dokie. So you have essentially 2 sets of each. So
I'll take 1 set of each, then if we've got 2 sets of each.
Yeah, so 1 set of caltrops or ball bearings will fill a 5 by 5 foot square of that area. And you have 2 bags of each.
I'll take some caltrops.
Caltrops.
I think I can take ball bearings as ammo for my sling.
You can, yes.
Oh, yeah, then a double purpose for you. That's good.
I mean, yeah, like, if you want to just take a couple out and add them as ammo to your sling, you obviously could do that. That wouldn't affect, like, just taking a couple out wouldn't affect their effectivity of, rolling them along the floor. I'll say, if it's on sand, ball bearings will not work. Because the whole point of ball bearings is they roll, and on sand, it won't roll. But, yeah. Otherwise, pretty good.
Did he get anything like a smoke bomb, or was that a no?
Oh yes, smoke bomb. Oh, I'll see.
Come on, Greetish to be MVP for the campaign. Come on.
Yes, he did. So Greekish was able to find, he tells you, a very quite seedy dealer, it seems, who was able to sell him a bottle. And this bottle is a basic sort of, ball glass sort of potion type thing. And in it is this persistent sort of cloud of smoke that persistently sort of moves and spins and things like that. This is the only magic item he is able to get for you, and it is called the Ever Smoking Bottle. So smoke leaks from the lead stopper mouth of this brass bottle, which weighs 1 pound. When used an action to remove the stopper, a cloud of thick smoke pours out in a 60-foot radius from the bottle. The cloud area is heavily obscured. Each minute the bottle remains open, and within the cloud, the radius increases by 10 feet until it reaches its maximum radius. Persists and word as an action. Once the bottle is closed, the cloud disperses after 10 minutes. A moderate wind, 11 to 20 miles an hour, can also disperse the smoke after 1 minute, and a strong wind can do so after 1 round.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, cool. You can just look up the ever smoking bottle online. It's it's a magic items out there. Yeah, I did roll. You rolled a nat 20, so I figured.
Oh, British! Let's go.
Is he coming with us?
He is not. Sadly,
Oh.
he is not made for this
I
type
think-
of adventuring life.
Would feel safer if he came with us.
You feel safer.
Party mascot.
Yeah, I think the problem is though, based on what Ben's saying, is that he would get felled with 1 hit.
Well, like from what you can see of him, he's a fairly sort of skinny kind of thing. If he was to be anything, he'd probably be like a more roguish build, but you guys are fairly strong, fairly powerful, and so far he doesn't even seem to be able to speak common. He speaks in mainly weird sounds and noises to his friend Suval, so you can't even understand his speech, So that would be interesting. Though he can like write common and understand you. But I mean, you can try and convince him to come along if you wanted to. Otherwise,
You say it, mate. You put your feet up.
And yeah, is there anything else you guys would like to do? Anything you would like to sort out, or are you good?
Good.
All good, yeah.
I think if I leave the call and come back, it's not going to mess anything up, is it?
No,
It's going to get my camera working.
Oh, just wait a quick second for Ryan. Uh, How long does it take to leave a call and come back?
Excellent question.
Clearly quite a
I
while.
reckon it was a cover for something else. Oh god, my camera's gone off. I need to do something.
So, how's everyone else doing?
Good. Good.
Good. Went shopping today. There's far too much Christmas stuff in already. Not a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Where did we go?
Pretty
Primark, Wilco,
Dang.
Superdrug. I mean, there's not really loads of Christmassy stuff in Superdrug anyway. But... yeah,
Yeah,
Wilco especially. Wilco had all the Christmas decorations out already, and most of the Halloween stuff was A, in quite a small area, and B, most of it was gone already.
Hmm.
And they're on to Christmas stuff now. So
Here we go.
We were, me and Chantal were talking about how like there was a load of Christmas stuff in Tesco's and Sainsbury's near us, and then Halloween came along, or like October came along, and a lot of it's gone away. Almost like they put it out, and it's been way too early, so no one's bought any of it. So they're trying to put it all away.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, it's definitely not until the end of sort of November that you start feeling a bit anything like Christmassy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd sort of say like halfway through sort of November, I start sort of feeling it a little bit, because that's generally when I like to start thinking about presents and shopping and all that stuff. But
I mean, as soon as Halloween's over.
yeah, for you, as soon as
First of
Halloween's
November,
over.
midnight on the dot, and August Christmas.
Yeah. But anyway, we're all here. So, with that, with everything organised and sorted, Suval will give you all a bow, look at you one final time, and just say to you all, this job is of utmost importance. Please. Retrieve my... If you can do nothing else, at least bring my child to me. Sadly, if you do that, you won't get your gold reward. But if you are able to if you aren't able to clear the things out, at least please bring me my child. I'll be
The gold reward is only for clearing out.
Yes, the gold reward is only, well, obviously, if you don't clear them out, then they keep my hoard and there won't be a gold reward.
We'll get nothing if we save your child.
Well, if you save my child, you'll have the gratitude of an ancient dragon of these sands. Surely that might be worth something. And the reward that I got you all out of prison, free of charge, except for doing this one little thing for me that's not quite free of charge, but oh well. I like this one.
If JJ's a contract assassin, I imagine 5 to 6 days is quite expensive.
Well, he probably should have thought of that before he got himself locked up in prison.
Oh, none of you know this. All you know is I'm quite good with them.
Quite good at the what, sorry?
A bow.
Oh, I watched you miss 2 shots. I don't think you're that good.
Anyway, you had better be off before it hits too far in the middle of the day. Good luck to you all, and keep your eyes on the sands and on the South Star. Day to you all. And with that, Suval turns back, reforms into his draconic form, and then with a heavy sort of whoosh, he lifts himself into the air, flies up and around, and disappears behind the dune, heading sort of towards the city, but almost like he disappears up above, sort of like one of the clouds, one of the very few clouds that are out today. And he's off. So, you guys turn around with a heavy sort of sigh. You begin your journey. At first, you sort of have to head up or up this the ridge of it. You look out over sort of crest and curve like waves on an ocean in a particularly sort of artistic modern painting. It is very,
Well, this was a mistake. So now I won't rejoin.
That once we get within range of it, should be quite easy to see. So I'm
yeah.
putting my vote on the flatlands.
Yeah. So just to recap, so in the distance you can see an area sort of, you're heading south and it's almost like an area of higher dunes or flatter land. Are your sort of 2 options for the terrain you can cross between kind of thing.
Okay. And Garvey, you're suggesting the flatlands. So we'll have...
It was Ayla's, I just put it forward as my own argument.
Okay. Ayla suggests the flatlands so that we can see better.
Well, I think it would be less effort as well, because I think we just got to keep heading south until we see this giant spire, basically. So
Yeah. Like we shouldn't need higher land to see well, like.
No, I don't agree. I don't think we should. Flatland.
We'll also be more visible though in the flatlands.
I was about to say we won't have the high ground. And
Obi-Wan, when did you join us?
We all know the importance of the high ground.
Sand people.
I hate sand.
I am one of those sand people, so what's your tone?
I like to imagine you're doing that with a shield instead of the You still haven't picked up a weapon.
Oh yeah, I've got my old kit now, don't I?
Yeah, you got your kit.
I'm
You got
banging
your clubs.
two really big clubs together.
Okay.
We'll potentially be more exposed.
What sort of pace can these lizards move at across flat ground? Is it quite
They
impressive?
can move at a decent pace, well, I say at a decent pace for regular people. You are all rather large, and so they can move at a almost as if you guys were making like a light jog, so faster than your walking speed, basically.
Okay.
If you told them to, persist, if you told them for a little bit of time to go faster, they can go as if you guys were, sprinting as they're sort of sprinting, but they can hold it for a little bit longer. But otherwise, their general speed, their average speed, is as if you guys were doing a sort of like light jog, kind of thing.
Should we vote? It's very democratic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those in favour of the flatlands, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That's 2. I'm guessing we're about to lose. Those in favour of the highlands,
Aye.
say yay.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's like we're going highlands.
Highlands, what?
All right, yeah, Highlands. So,
This has always been my issue with democracy, is that idiots can vote.
so you push the lizards on and your camel on towards the highlands, and you begin sort of cresting up and over many of these dunes and things like that. Your lizards are having a bit of a whale of a time. They're often almost like messing around with each other. Like one will sort of go in front of the other one and slap its tail down, getting sand on the face of the other one. And the other one trying to bite its tail and sort of catch up. And they're like playing, almost like playing with each other while you guys are sort of on their backs.
Ben, since I've travelled the desert a lot,
Yeah.
can I use my passive perception to just keep an eye out for potential predators and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. So with your passive perception, you're looking around the area, especially, as you say, sort of on the higher dunes, things like that. As you're beginning to get to some of these higher ones, you can't really see anything around you. It is, it looks very, very barren. And almost in your mind, you're thinking like, oh, this is, well, I mean, as long as it stays like this, it's going to be fairly easy. And you turn behind you and you can still see some of the city behind you, especially over that one dune that was sort of covering it. You can see some of the spires of the city slowly sort of fading away into the mist of the sands behind. As you begin to sort of crest and up and down, it's a little bit of a task. Can I get everyone to, who's driving these things, by the way? It'd be an animal handling check to sort of drive a lizard. So who is driving a lizard? Who's piloting these lizards?
So Garva's on their own camel, right?
Garva's on his own camel, and I'm going to need you to make an animal handling check for your camel. Yeah, you're good. Your camel he's loving it. He's loving life. He's very, very happy with you, and you're just trotting away. You'd probably be like leading the group, just trotting along your way. Who's piloting?
I'd say I'm probably Hedge because I know him.
Yeah, so
Irvin and Hedge are on one, Beats and Ayla. You guys are on another lizard together.
I'm not driving.
Not driving.
That sounds like work.
Who is wiser?
Beating up that knife.
You're a bit of a luxury player, aren't you? We've got to carry you for a lot of the adventure, and hopefully you fucking show up at the end of it.
It shows up. The weapon shows up when there's combat.
Oh, well, he didn't so far.
He's called a weapon.
I'm new to the whole that stuff. Well, I mean, it's bugbears. That's just what they do. They are the weapons, so that's when they are more useful.
Okay.
That's fair. So yeah, Hedge and Irvin, who's piloting your lizard?
Hedge.
Okay.
Hedge. Alrighty, can Ayla and Hedge both make me animal handling checks?
That went real well.
Oh, okay. So, Ayla, you managed to sort of keep your thing at bay, and you managed to get yours. So, if you're traveling up and over the crest of these dunes, the camel would probably lead, and behind would probably be, well, especially with the speed of this, Ayla, and then on the back, up the sort of rear, is Hedge. And Hedge, you are finding it very, very difficult. Ayla, you're finding a piece of cake. Just keep it straight. You've clearly got the more sensible of the two lizards, and just keep it straight. It's fairly easy, using a bit of your sort of hips and leaning as well to sort of keep it in line and on balance and going the way you want it to, sort of thing. Hedge, you are finding this a little bit more tricky to figure out. And as you're trying to maneuver this thing, it keeps going left and right, and you've clearly got the more childish one because it keeps trying to go for the other one's tail ahead of you. And there is a moment where you're sort of cresting up over one of the dunes, and your thing is just sort of pittering away, and it's like snapping away at one of the things, and you almost try and pull it one way, so it goes very far one way, and sadly this almost teeters it just over the side, and you begin sliding down one of the sides of the dunes on this thing, just going like that. Can you make me an animal handling check, or if you want to jump off, a dex saving throw?
Irvin, bail. Oh no.
Just roll for the lizard. Lizard got a 1. So the thing starts sliding down, and then very quickly it spins onto its back and just starts rolling. And sadly, Irvin, you don't jump off fast enough, so you're still on top of this thing while it's rolling. And you will take a little bit of damage to 1. You only take 3 bludgeoning damage, thankfully, as you sort of continuously roll down this hill. Eventually, you disconnect from this thing and just end up sliding down the rest. Whereas Hedge, you manage to jump off and using your shell, just almost like slide down the very rest of it. This does hinder you a little bit because to retrieve the lizard, because it's just rolled down and it's all excited and spinning around the air like it wants to go again. Retrieving the lizard, getting back on the lizard, and meeting up with your friends, it's a little bit of an ordeal and takes you a little bit of time. And by now, you've sort of wasted about sort of half an hour because everyone else has got to wait for you to come back around and meet up.
I'll scowl at Hedge a little bit for such poor animal handling.
And in this sort of waiting you have to do, just as everyone meets up, everyone make me a perception check.
You still got sand in your eyes, Irvin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
become a big sand ball.
Oh, okay, it's good rolls. Perception. Don't think it's scrolled down. Oh, yeah, there you go. You rolled first, way up here. I'm sadly going to take that 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you all manage to sort of group up, Irvin, you're still rustling sand at you and things are a bit weird. Beats, you're sort of sat there probably laughing, if I'm honest. But Garvey, you've sort of been stood here a while, and Hedge, you also begin to realise it too. Beneath you, there's a bit of a rumbling noise. It's when you're on the sort of lowlands between these sort of two dunes and this low point. And there is a little bit of a rumbling beneath you. You can see some sort of granules of sand slowly trickling down the sides of the dunes ahead of you. And you notice beneath you, some sort of little bits of the ground are sort of like moving and rumbling until very, very quickly, and it won't be a surprise round or anything from them because you guys have managed to notice it and probably call out. This creature leaps up from the ground, or rather like digs up from the ground and then leaps and lands. It's a very, very large creature, a really, really big creature with this hard, sort of like bone-like shell, these huge claws that have, these like digging claws kind of thing. And it's got this like pointed sort of nose, almost like, you'd almost relate it to like a shark, but with like big sort of heavy forelegs, a long sort of tail, and its sleekness is almost like made from this hard sort of like shell almost. And as it leaps up and sort of lands on the ground, it reveals its sort of quite large teeth. And sort of, and crawling out of the hole it made are two figures. These figures are very, very large in size, kind of rotund creatures, but you can tell beneath a lot of that fat is a little bit of muscle. They don't really wear a lot. They wear sort of simple rags, a simple sort of shoulder pauldron on each arm. They grab behind them chains, and one of these chains is actually attached to this large creature. And as they pull themselves out of the ground, they go, you stop right there. Stop right there now. No closer now. No closer.
Buzz.
It's not what I expected.
And you can see, stood in front of you, yes, there are these two ogres with their pet creature, whatever the hell this creature is, like a land shark. And they both look at you and they stand there and they sort of look at you and go, what we got here? City dwellers towards the wastelands. Isn't that right? Yeah, that is. What are we going to do about you then? What do you all think you're doing out here?
Can I speak to them in Ogre?
Yeah, of course, yeah. They're currently speaking in like common, but yeah, you can speak to them in Ogre. What would you like to say in Ogre?
That's a good question. No, this is why I don't do the talking. Sorry, just skip me. I got nothing.
Yeah, you like open your mouth to say something like, "Oh."
I roll my camel forward and just say we're here on urgent business and we'd like to continue making our way if that's okay.
Well, of course. You can obviously get on making your way. You just got to pay the toll, is all. Toll for getting into the sands, you see. It's, many people in the sands, many beings in the sands don't want, mortal interference, that sort of thing.
How much is this toll?
Well, that's not very helpful. We actually have plenty of that back here. So,
Okay.
Can I do perception that if there's any if they've got some sort of look of who they are or what they're part of?
yeah. Make a what would that be? Make me a either investigation check.
Oh dear.
Oh, 17, that's pretty good. So, looking them over, after, a brief sort of look over, they don't seem to be, looking at them, part of any sort of clan. It does seem to be just them. They don't seem to have any symbols pertaining to any sort of clan. And the packs they have sort of around their waists and one of them has around their back seems to indicate that they are almost doing this, they've kept a lot of what they've taken or a lot of what they've sort of got. And also this Bulette as well, or this large creature, yes, the Bulette, has, packs sort of on its side and things like that on this large sort of chain and harness. So it seems that they are somewhat either not necessarily nomadic, but they are somewhat loners, you can almost guess. because of the fact that they've kept almost everything that you can assume they probably own on them. They don't necessarily have a home or anyone they're paying a lot of this to. With a 17, yeah.
I guess an ogre, I'd be like, I'm Beats of the Red Spears. Yeah, you heard of us? I don't know. I can't do it for voice.
Okay. In ogre, they reply back, no, we no heard of you. Red Spears sound scary. You a goblin tribe?
How do you know? Yes, I thought you probably would have spotted us about now. We've been around these parts.
No, never heard of no Red Spear tribe. No. Or red spears. No. Though we have seen many goblins in our time. Are you as well? You don't seem as dangerous as the rest of them. You ride with other northern people.
Oh, well, if you meet any of them called Jacques, tell him he's shrunk. He needs to eat shrunk.
Okay. Sure. And then he reverts back to common for a second, like, well, we still need that toll.
What do you want?
Well, standard wages, about 50 gold per person, really. Or if you got any food, any water about you, especially. Haven't really drunk much in the past couple of days, have we, Brick? No, Bone, we haven't. So, we wouldn't mind a bit of water. Sort of look, they take a gander over each of you. I'll make a perception check for them. Okay, so one of them's rolled very, very poorly.
Can I make a perception check as to whether or not they've got any water?
Yeah, of course you can.
Excellent.
Are they attached? How are they attached to the beast?
So they've got like a chain around its neck, and one of them is holding the chain.
So they're not attached to the chain; they're just holding it.
Yeah, they're just holding it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
24. Yeah, so you can see. Look, and they're hiding it fairly well, but you can see this water skin on their back, or this large sort of thing that looks, like a pack of sort of leather strapped up, and the way it's sort of sagging and the way it moves as they move. It does denote that there is, and the way it's almost like squished to their back does denote that there is some liquid in there at the very least. You're not quite sure if it's water, but they have a pack with liquid in it on their back, or at least one of them does. Quite a big pack as well. Your water skins hold like 4 pints, and this one holds maybe 6. So 50 gold, or we'll take a pint of water from each of you. How's that sound? Maybe 2 if you're feeling generous.
I cast Dominate Beast on the land shark.
Dominate Beast. Okay, put Dominate Beast in the chat. I'm pretty sure this won't. Because, I'm pretty sure, but I just want to make sure. In terms of a beast that you can see, right. Sadly, this creature is so large and so different from a shark that it doesn't work. Sadly, this isn't this doesn't appear to be a bestial creature. This would be more classed as some kind of monstrosity rather than a beast.
Would I know that before I cast the spell?
Yeah, I'll say you can make me a nature check. I feel like Garva, being a quite potentially proficient person, might be able to identify this before he cast it. 16. I'll say, yeah, you can. Yeah,
save my level 4 spell slot. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be nice, and I'll say yes. You would looking it over, you would know this is clearly more of a monstrosity than any kind of beast you've ever seen. Especially with a druid and things like that as well. One of them sort of outstretches his hand, and the other one is actually holding a large sort of chain, but it's not attached to anything, and it's got these spikes sort of riveted inside the chain links. And he steps up to you. So, what'll it be? That toll, or well, we have to take it.
If I just say like, what's the plan here in Elvish? Does anyone speak Elvish?
Yes.
Nope.
You do. So I'll say, what's the plan here in Elvish?
You speak Elvish?
I have actually picked one.
Oh, look at something.
Definitely not give them any water.
No. This is quite a threatening. This would be quite a difficult combat, though. I feel. I don't know if there's a quick way out of this.
We've been promised as
8
much
hours.
gold as we can carry. I'm inclined
So
to
you think just pay the toll?
I'm inclined to just give them some gold to fuck off.
Okay.
I was going to pitch in that but we need to give them 50 gold per person.
Maybe who's good at negotiating?
We're waiting.
It's just a second, please.
What are you saying? We don't know that level. What are you talking about?
We're just discussing what we can offer.
Okay. Well, I know what you can offer. I can see your big pack beasts there, and I can see some of you have got many pouches and such. Maybe you got some water on you.
Why exactly do we need to pay this toll?
Well, because the things living in this large desert don't exactly like big city dwellers and north dwellers coming down and wrecking their stuff, littering their things all over the place, killing the wildlife and such.
So, on whose authority do you collect this toll?
Yeah.
Well, we collect this toll in the name of the gods of the desert and such, the things that someone's got to do it, and they just give us it doesn't matter who we
So you're religious
we
folk.
live it, to give us the damn money.
I live down the road.
I think we should just beat the shit out of you guys.
I live here.
I already pay my taxes.
Yeah.
Gold's fine, it's just how much they're going to take from us on top of the gold. Which, I mean, it keeps sounding like it gets more and more.
I'll again say, like in Elvish, I'm happy to give up the gold if they try and take anything more.
Gold from you rolled earlier on.
Yeah, because I do not have
What we engage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I'm not trying to persuade them that I live here.
I see. Yeah, the gold's not that big a deal.
Do you want to try and persuade them?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can,
I think we can
you can
try and
roll
get it down to
persuasion.
less than 50. Definitely.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course
for
you can
God's
roll
sake.
persuasion against them. Yeah, sure.
I don't. There's just no point, is there?
Sorry, I didn't see what that.
13.
13. 50 gold. Pint of water from everyone.
How many of these guys are there?
There's 2 ogres and 1 large land shark type of creature. It's got this sort of armoured, bone-like sort of structure over it. One of them's holding a large sort of chain as weapons.
Yeah, I have that.
Just the gold?
Yeah, just the gold.
Hmm.
Everyone's
We
alright
need
with
our
that?
waters. We have a long journey ahead.
Well, if you've got a long journey ahead, well, that's rather interesting. How long a journey? Where are you off to?
I didn't realise we were getting into specifics here. 50 gold each, take it or leave it.
What do you say, Brick? Looks you over.
What's the terrain like here, Ben?
The terrain. So
Hmm.
right where you are is fairly flat. So you're almost like in the middle part between sort of 2 dunes.
Not
So
a lot of cover then.
not a lot of cover. There is like a rock that sort of sticks out, like a single rock that sticks out just sort of behind you. But that's pretty much it.
Okay.
These guys are going to look over. I'll roll sort of one last d20 if they think they can. Nope, they're stupid. So they're going to look at you like, All right, fine. We won't take your water. Say you got a long journey ahead and all. Maybe we'll see you later on. Who knows? Rick, get the gold. No, Bone, you get the gold. I got bully. Oh, fine. I'll get the. Why do I have to get the fucking? Because I got bully. Oh.
While they're chatting, can I just look at Hedge and say in Elvish, do I use the shatter bomb?
Save it. Gold's worth nothing. Water's worth everything out here.
Okay. So you walk over. The guy sort of slings off his pack, puts sort of pack on the ground. You can see as he sort of drops it down, he walks over to you, retrieves the 50 gold from each of you. Take the gold. They put it into their pack. The one that's been called almost like sets.
Oh, this is very irritating.
Pack pulls out a large, one of these large water skins and pours it down. I mean, you can see it's a lot of water that sort of pours down a lot of his chest and things like that. But it does manage to sort of catch it, tie it up quick, put it back in the pouch. The other one does the same, and they feed a little bit to their land shark creature. Before then, they go, "Well, thanks for doing business with you. You are free to walk about these lands, and well, do whatever you will. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one." Bully clicks her fingers. Bully immediately just starts digging at the ground, pushing with his nose like sand and everything out, digging all sorts of stuff, pushing his way into the ground. And very soon, these two ogres climb into the hole that Bully has made, following suit. One of them's almost dragged by this large chain as well. But they follow suit. The area is quiet.
Pretty sure we just got conned.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, like Hedge said, there's potentially a mountain of gold at our final destination. So if we get there in one piece and finish the job, that's our main issue.
Yeah.
So, with that, you can all continue onwards. Can I just get one more animal handling check from the drivers, particularly with you and...
That's gone a lot better for me.
So, as you're, Star Wars to go over, you're continuing
Amos
on.
Lizard has died.
Yeah, Hedge, you are continuing on. But, Ayla, your lizard will not move. It will not go. It just won't. You don't know why, it just will not move. It will not go. It's not moving.
I'll go and help her to get it moving, i.e. give her advantage on another animal handling check, please.
Yeah, I'd say that would maybe take a bit of time. I mean, I'd say you can make your own separate one.
Can I speak? Can I cast speak with animals?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
And I'll straight up ask the stupid lizard why it won't go.
No. Yeah, so you cast speak with animals and it just sort of looks, hungry, thirsty, hungry, thirsty, hungry.
Okay, I'll just say to Ayla, it's hungry. Have you?
Give it a little bit of water, a little bit of food.
It's doing a really good.
Oh,
I don't know if it can understand.
she gives pats. Pat, pat, pat. It laps up some of this. You hold out your water skin like open and it just sort of laps up a couple of things. A giant lizard, especially these desert-like ones that have this beigey, sandy-coloured sort of scales and things like that. Many horns that protrude, like very, very small horns that protrude sort of along its nose, up its ridge and down its back and things like that. They really don't need that much water at all. But food, yeah, they do need some of that. And you've given it just this little bit of food. Goes, okay, still hungry. Maybe go now. Okay, we go. And then
We'll
without
go find some.
warning,
I'll tell it we'll go find some food.
Yeah, and without warning, like you're still like holding out your rations, and then just it just goes off and follows the other one. And the other one seems to like whack its tail on the sand like once or twice, and it just follows suit, and then it's doing the same thing, just following its tail back and forth and back and forth. Continuing on the way. As a final thing for this session, so you guys can continue the rest of the day, and the rest of the day pretty much goes without any problems. Again, it's just a very daunting sea of sand all ahead of you, and though it is very, very hot, and it gets very, very hot in the middle of the day continues to draw on. It's not potentially as hot as it possibly could be, but then it turns to the evening. Now, were you going to continue to walk on through the evening, or were you going to try and find somewhere to rest?
I think we want to be travelling later into the night rather than like trying to sleep during the day, I guess.
Yeah.
In the hot bit of the day.
Okay.
So
yes.
I think
it's not that cycle now.
Yeah. Okay. After a long day of being in the hot sun, can everyone just roll me a quick Constitution saving throw? Just to try and negate.
Oh my god, it's not Aiden's day.
Not Ayla's day at all. Alright, so what have we got? We've got a 9, a 4.
Ayla's still seething about giving 50 gold pieces to those ogres that she reckons she could have had in a fight.
Ayla's just on the thing, like seething. Like, but also, from where you're from, this kind of heat really doesn't, never happens. From where you're from, it's just miles and miles of woodland that's like the perfect temperature. And if it's not the perfect temperature, well, there are many ways to make it the perfect temperature, so it's quite a lot for you today. Garva, probably the same thing, just traveling along. Like it gets really hot for a lot of time. Beats, for whatever reason, you're just finding it amongst your fur a little bit warm today. But Irvin and Head, you guys are all right. So Ayla, Garva, and Beats, can you guys just add a point of exhaustion onto your character sheets?
This is going to be diabolical.
Where's that?
However, because you have
Under the
all
hit point part.
drunk water and things like that, the DC is only 10 for it. Sadly, 3 of you still failed, but still, hey ho. Oh no, there isn't. I'll quickly add that now.
There used to be a bit where you could add a level of exhaustion, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's in settings.
Yeah,
I see.
settings.
You have to turn the setting on.
Okay, cool.
So you go to settings, the box on the right hand side.
No exhaustion tracking on or off.
Yeah, near the bottom of that right hand side box.
Cool. And as you guys are traveling later into the evening, it gets much cooler. Garva, you almost smile seeing all the sort of thousands of stars you can see in the sky without any light pollution. The moon lights up the entire area in this creepy darkness, and in the shadow of many of the dunes, it's pitch black, completely pitch black. But on the sort of light sides of them, you can see this lovely sort of white glow coming off the many sands. It's a rather beautiful sight as you continue into the sort of later parts of the evening, and where you potentially find a place to rest. But we will leave all of that good stuff for the next session. Thank you all very much for joining. We'll call it there. Yeah.